Matt. Why did I call you? Oh, I know why. Okay. Matt. So, you ready? Tell me when you're ready, Martin.
I'm ready.
Okay. Matt. So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Well,
So, tell us about, so your name is Matt. How old are you?
I'll be 22 weeks. So I'm 19 now.
19 now.
I grew up in Montana, out in the west, and I've been in New York City coming and going for about almost 3 years now. I've been living in New York City for 2, and it's totally different from where I grew up. I grew up in the country on a ranch with horses and stuff, and it's only 900,000 people in the whole state, and it's like 145 where I live. It's like no people, and then you come to New York City, and it's like 11 million people, and it's just different. And I like it.
So tell us about so you came to New York to model,
That's what brought me here.
and so who do you model for?
My agency I'm with right now is B1. When I first got here I was with SBM, and then they broke apart, and then I was doing some stuff, just working with my manager, and then I went to Italy and spent a couple seasons in Italy. I spent 3 seasons and a total about a whole year, like 3 or 4 months at a time. And that was great. Like going to Italy was just, I'd never been out of the country before, and going there for Men's Fashion Week, getting to do the runway shows, getting to do some editorials, and like really getting into like the real stuff was incredible. Like I really enjoyed it.
So you like doing editorial campaign work is more than catalog work, so forth?
Yeah, like doing a story is kind of fun for editorial. It's unfortunate that you don't get any loot for it, but you do get tears and stuff which go a long ways in your work, so that's nice. Doing runaway shows, it's kind of like tedious a little bit, but it can be a lot of fun. There's a lot, that's probably the most exciting part, is like the most glamorous maybe, because there's all the people and the excitement, and like it's so crazy though, because it's all this build up for something that happens in like 3 minutes. But then it's fun.
So who did you do the runway show for?
I did a show for Margiela in Florence, which was incredible. We had like Rolls Royces, we had like all these Vespas, and we made a presentation instead of doing an actual show. And that was pretty cool. So we just filmed it all day and then made the presentation, showed it, and then showed off the line at the end of it.
And so tell us about where do you see yourself in the model industry in 5 years?
I don't know if I even see myself still in it in 5 years. Having put in the time that I have and knowing what I want to do in the future, I don't know that I'll be involved with it that much longer. But maybe within the next year I do have plans on going to Asia next month, maybe like the end of June, and going for 3 to 6 months, spending all the time in China, and going to Hong Kong, Beijing, and Shanghai. And so it's gonna be something like I don't even know how to prepare for it, so I'm excited.
So doing the modeling, it seems like have a great impact on your day-to-day life. What do you do for fun and relaxation?
Because
So May, it appears that modeling has requires a great deal of your time for day to day. So what do you do for relaxation and enjoyment? Do you have any hobbies? Are you involved with a special someone?
I'm right now involved with someone right now. I seem to find myself involved all too often, but it's New York City, it seems to work that way. When it rains, it pours. And other than that, I like to read. I like to spend time outside. I love the summertime. I like to be in the sun. I like to be in the sun. I like to swim. I like to go out to Long Island to the beaches, barbecue, have a few drinks. I have a lot of friends in the city, and they're all kind of connected, so we get to go out to the clubs whenever we want. Get out, go out on the town, and because there's a lot of people, it seems like for people with not regular jobs, like you can go out any night of the week, and every night's the same. Every night's Friday night. So it's kind of like that.
So tell us, what are the perks of being a model?
It's not as glamorous as I think people think it is from the outside. Like what I thought it might have been, and then what I've come to know it to be, are 2 completely different things.
And that is?
A lot of people think it's really glamorous and it's fabulous all the time, and
Okay, Matt. So what are the perks, did you say, of being a model is?
I think the perks would be traveling. Um, Modeling has allowed me to leave the place that I grew up. It's taken me to New York City, it's taken me to Los Angeles, it's taken me to Italy, and I hope it'll take me to China and some other places. So traveling is definitely one. Networking, I've met a lot of people from all over the world, and that's been great. It's really changed me. And you get to get on the insider's view, like you really end up kind of like in some red, whatever you want to call it, behind red ropes, if you will, and you get to be in a lot of VIP places and get kind of good treatment, I guess.
So going out to all these clubs and you know, how often do you go out to party?
I used to go out all the time just because I could, but you get really tired of it because the same people go out all the time, it's the same places, and so you kind of get burned out. So I don't go out anymore. I go out maybe once every 2 weeks.
So, is it true what they say that the modeling industry has a lot of sex and drugs involved with it? Have you experienced that?
From the people that I've run into and some situations that I've witnessed, I would say that it is true, but it's kind of, I think modeling is similar to a rock and roll lifestyle, if in a cliche way. It's like, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like, modeling is very like that late nights, early mornings, just go, go, go. People party really hard when they do. And as for sex, like, there is always the edge of promiscuity, like, that comes with the territory, because it's kind of their job, and so it's very like untapped for these people. But a lot of people are getting it on all the time, but a lot of people are very prude because they're trying to maintain a certain like image, or trying, you know, no one wants to get pregnant, you won't sell anything. You know?
So what advice could you give a male model trying to break into the industry?
They really need to decide on what their priorities are, that if making money is one of them, that this might not be their thing, because someone once told me, and it's like you got to give it away for free before someone's going to be willing to pay you for it. And whatever they were talking about then in reference to modeling, like, it's very much like that. You end up doing a lot of editorial stuff and doing tests, or you might even end up paying money sometimes to get pictures in order to get work. And so it takes some time and money to put into it, so you're not going to see anything right away. So you have to be willing to commit the time to put it in, and it's really hard because you're going to have a lot of floating points. Like, not a lot of things are going to be set in stone. Like, you have to be able to move at any time, go anywhere, drop everything. Sometimes you have less than a week's notice and that you're going to be gone for 3 months, and to be able to be that free is really hard. And so if you have to be stable all the time, it's that kind of person that might not work for you.
So tell us about your favorite fun, high energy photo shoot.
Wow. Trying to think of, probably one of the best times that was really high energy was for this rock and roll story that we did. The magazine was called Adrenaline, and so it was just supposed to be really like intense. And when we ended up showing up at the studio, it was going to be 15 people in this big shoot, and we ended up being there for an outrageous amount of time. We showed up at 10, and by 10 o'clock we were still sitting there, and some of us hadn't even got to start the shoot. And so long day, nothing to eat, and it was really cold, and so it was kind of miserable. Everybody was miserable. But somehow, somewhere along the line, when we got really cold, the photographer told us that there was something to drink in the fridge if we wanted. We go to the fridge and there's nothing to drink but bottles of vodka and like lime soda. And so the next thing you know, it's like we've got 15 starving people cocked up on like large quantities of vodka, taking pictures, and everybody was having a ball, and the story came out so much better because everyone was enjoying themselves and being really high energy. So that was probably one of the best.
So tell us about the worst.
The worst would probably be one of my first experiences when I just didn't feel comfortable. If you're not like familiar with the situation or who you're working with, it can be really uncomfortable.
So tell us about your worst experience.
It would probably just be that one of the first shoots I went on and I wasn't sure what to expect or what was considered regular or what's normal and what's not normal. And you know, you have to be comfortable with yourself and what you're doing, and just because I wasn't sure at that point, like I was really uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure what was to be like what's the normal thing to happen is. So that was probably just really uncomfortable because I didn't know what to expect. But after you work with a couple different people, and each person has like their own style and their own way of doing something, and you start to learn to like work with them, and so that you can really get something good out of it, then you know you become more comfortable.
So what do you do when you're in those uncomfortable positions?
It depends what it is. If I'm just uncomfortable and it's not a big deal, then I just try to relax. But if I'm uncomfortable and you know and it's not going away, or if I feel pressed, then you have to voice it. You have to let people know how you're feeling, and if worst comes to worst, you just walk. Like, it's not a big deal.